What is up guys, Jacked Out here, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you another tutorial. It is the much requested 360 tail whip, better known as the 3-whip, that's what I like to call them just for short. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed recently. I hit 1,000 subscribers in like 3 weeks to a month or something, or maybe even like 2 weeks it was, I'm not even too sure. So thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. And if this video does help you, or you enjoyed it in any other way, please let me know by subscribing, liking the video, commenting down below, suggesting some tricks for future tutorials. Anyway, 360 tail whips, let's get into it. I'm going to be teaching this trick on flat ground, but as I said in past tutorials, the same tips apply for whether you're doing it fly out of a quarter pipe, out of a bank, of a kick or something. Obviously the tips also apply for flat ground. So a 360 tail whip, for those who don't know, is when you get air, you do a 360 rotation with the tail whip at the same time, catch the tail whip, complete the rotation, land, and roll away. So before learning this trick, you want to make sure you have 360s and tail whips really good. You want to make sure you can catch your tail whips really high, and I also recommend learning 180 whips. It's not like a must-have, but it would help a lot. So when you're approaching your fly out, whether it's a banky quarter or if you're doing it on flat ground, as soon as you get airborne, you need to start chucking that 360 as you usually would doing a 360, okay? But just keep in mind, you're doing a 360 with your body, and your deck is also doing a 360 degree spin. Therefore, there's 2 rotations in this one trick, which means you're gonna have to huck your spin like almost double as hard. I find hopping off your back wheel helps a lot more, especially with tricks on flat ground. I mean, when I'm using like a bank or a fly out, I kind of just use the ramp to boost, but on flat ground, I always hop off my back wheel. I find you can get more strength in the handlebars, and you can pull up a lot higher. You just have a lot more pop when hopping off your back wheel. And as soon as I go to spin and throw the tail whip, I make sure that I level out in the air, especially if you're doing this trick out of a quarter pipe or a bank where the ramp is already this steep, plus you're going to hop. You want to make sure that you level out by the time you're going to throw the whip. If you're leaning back or your scooter's angled backwards and you're trying to spin a tail whip, it's going to be really hard to keep your weight above the scooter, and that is like crucial for this trick. You want to make sure that you're always above and in control of this trick, especially if you're going to be spinning and doing a tail whip rotation. Whether you're leaning too far back or leaning too far forward, it's just going to make your life so much harder when learning this trick. So it's crucial to level out as soon as you launch out of your bank or hop off your back wheel on flat ground. That will allow the tail whip to spin on a much smoother axis, and it will be easier for you to rotate the deck with your handlebars using your wrists, like so. So as soon as I go to throw the 360 degree rotation, I start throwing the whip. As the whip is coming down, I'm looking down at the deck. I have one foot out ready to catch it. And at the 180 degree point, that is when I catch the deck. And I don't just catch it, I also pull it up to my feet. That's going to make sure that the deck is going to stay on your feet for the rest of the rotation. Then as soon as I've caught the deck, I look over my shoulder, I complete the rotation, I come around, and I'm already leveled out because I leveled out as soon as I launched out of the ramp. Then when you're coming around to here, you want to get ready for impact, land, and roll away. The problem I had with this trick the most when I was first learning it is not being able to finish the full 360 degree rotation. Usually when you do a 360 on its own, you spin at a slow, steady pace, giving yourself just enough momentum to make it around the full rotation. You're not just doing a 360, you're also doing a 360 with your deck. You want to catch it, then finish the rotation. So it's kind of like a 180 whip, late 180, if that makes any sense to you. What you want to do is just boost fly out as high as you can. It doesn't matter how high you go or how much speed you have, as long as you do the full 360 tail whip rotation and roll away clean, then you can do it lower and lower to a point where you can do it out of a bank, then work your way up to flat ground. When it comes to learning this trick on flat ground, I definitely recommend finding a road with a bit of a slope. Do the 360 tail whip and kind of get away with like doing a 270 landing into the bank, and then you can work your way up to a full 360 degree spin. So I'll run you through it once again. As soon as you get airborne, you want to start spinning the 360 degree rotation with your body and chuck the tail whip at exactly the same time like that. Level out, be looking down at the deck at all times. Instead of catching it normally, you want to pull the deck up to your feet using your handlebars, throw your head over your shoulder, finish the rotation, brace for impact, land, and roll away. I just Mongo pushed. Alright guys, that's all I have for you with 3 whips. I really hope you enjoyed, I really hope it helped out. If it did help you out, then subscribe, drop a like on the video, comment down below if you're still having trouble, and I'll get back to you ASAP. I reply to every single comment. Make sure to follow me on my social media. I pretty much just use Instagram and YouTube. My Instagram is @JackedOut. I post a bunch of writing content on there, and you can also have an input in what type of videos I do in the future and what tricks I do for future tutorials. Subscribe, do whatever you can, help support the channel. Thank you so much guys.